Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your continued support to our channel. We would have been where we are today without your support. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very obvious that the political realignments are taking shape, and President William Ruto has set his eyes on the ball, and the target is to retain his seat in 2027. The opposition is giving him a hard time, and they're telling him you're a one-term. And William Ruto is staring at the stinking reality of rebellion from Kenyans who say you failed us, especially the youths. Now, talking about the youths, the Gen Zs, together with millennials, are going to shape the political discourse of this country. If there is not going to be a revolution, the real one is coming in 2027 because we have a destiny. There is clamor to gain the confidence of the youth. If you look at how the politicians are, conducting their politics, William Ruto is trying to woo the youths back to himself, yet they are saying that you have killed us, and that is going to be a thorn in Ruto's flesh from this moment till the time people are going to vote in 2027. The opposition is saying, and they're taking advantage of that, they're telling the youths that we need to change this government so that we have a friendly government that will listen to you. The biggest question, especially after Raila joined the government, is who exactly betrayed the Gen Zs? Because when you listen to the opposition or the broadest government, Raila, after getting into government, they are saying that the Wamunyoro group are taking advantage of Gen Z's protest to gain political mileage. Yet a few years ago, when they went to protest on the street, Wamunyoro opposed it and was saying that they were only hell-bent in destroying their businesses. But the opposition is saying that Raila Amolo Odinga, at the very moment, at the 11th hour, when Gen Zs needed him, he betrayed them and joined William Samoei Ruto. Who exactly betrayed Gen Zs? I want to show you a video where Raila's closest ally was really cornered. If you want to know the real meaning of cornered, as he was trying to explain why he believes that the opposition is the one that are taking advantage of Gen Z's protest. And he fumbled, he stammered. Allow me before that to present to you this case. We presented a case of this lady, Mama Peter, who lost her husband a few months ago. And as a result, life has really changed from bad to worse to the worst now. Peter, for example, is stranded at home when the other students are taking exams. We pleaded with the administration to allow him to take exams, but I promised that I would take something to the school on Friday. Mama Peter is also saying, mnisaidia nifungue kabiashara kadogo just to make ends meet because things are getting more difficult by the day. And she's also pleading ya kwamba akona arrears, rent arrears. So if we can manage to help her in those three areas, she'll really appreciate. Kindly listen to her.
Mimi naitwa Mama Peter. Ningewaomba, mimi nilikuwa na mzee lakini akafariki, ilikuwa ghafla, na venye ilikuwa ghafla maisha ikatulemea, katafuta nyumba kama hizi, na mimi hufanya kazi ya kufua, lakini kwa saa hii kazi iko chini sana juu kazi yenye tunafanya huwezi pata ya kulisha watoto, kulipa rent. Sasa chenye ningeomba tu nisaidie nipate pesa ya kulipa nyumba, sababu nyumba nayo nimedaiwa miezi 4 sijalipa, na ni kama tunataka kufukuzwa. Ningewaomba kama tu ningeweza nisaidie nipate ya kulipa nyumba na ya kupeleka mtoto wangu shule. Kwa saa hii aliambiwa asirudi shule bila school fees. Kama ingewezekana nipate na nifungue kabiashara kidogo ili niweze kulisha watoto.
kindly spare something. We are doing a 50 bob challenge, and may God bless you even as you plan to give something. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the very Raila's youngest, closest allies was on Citizen TV, and Sam Gituku really cornered him because the question of Gen Zs has become a topic to be discussed every day. And when he was pressed to explain why they betrayed Gen Zs, he was saying it is the opposition that is taking advantage of the Gen Z's protest. Kindly listen to him. Before we do this, ladies and gentlemen, please subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell. This will allow YouTube to notify you whenever we release a video like this. And please like and share this video because it goes a long way in supporting the video. Kindly listen to Eddy Oketch, who is the Migori senator.
The context of the law is that we must protect the Gen Zs.
You said, Senator, that the protests are organic and amorphous.
Yes.
But also there are politicians who are taking advantage.
There is political classes that are, I say political classes that are taking advantage of them. And there is also gangs that are taking advantage of those protests.
Well, it's political.
I'll give you an example. Yeah. I'll give you a good example. After every protest that we have seen in this country, right? During the Gen Z protest that happened in last year, that was 2024. The entire time, for instance, ODM where I come from, Baba was told by Gen Zs, because Baba is my leader in ODM party, stay at home. So after every protest happened, the account of those protests, you didn't see ODM making any comments about those protests because it was not our protest. Our protest in 2023, where Azimio was clear that we called people to the streets. We used to take to brief the public. We went to protest yesterday. This and this happened in Kware, and there was this looting that happened in this place.
Politicians are taking advantage.
I'm getting to you.
Sorry,
I'm getting to that.
Taking so much time.
I'm getting to that because
my question because it's very specific.
Yes, but I'm getting to that.
Sorry, Senator, it's coming from your statement that there are political classes that are taking advantage of the protest. Who?
Sam, can I just prosecute my point?
Move. You spent 6 minutes. You've not given me an answer.
Sam, this is not how we debate, honestly. If you don't give me time to explain myself...
Who is taking advantage of the protest?
And I'm giving you good context so that you understand. We're not having debates in vacuum. So we have seen the parallel. We draw parallels between the process of Gen Z. They didn't start yesterday. Last year there was protest of Gen Zs, and there were no people holding brief for those protests. In this year, we have seen once Gen Zs have gone to the streets, we have seen the opposition holding brief after those protests and claiming them to be and talking on behalf of those protests. In that case, then they hold responsibility of those protests. A number of opposition leaders, some.
Okay, let's listen to a clip here. I think it best answers what you're saying.
Is ODM no longer in opposition?
Let's listen to the clip.
Say it is Fred Matiang'i and give the evidence for it. Because even that blanket and general condemnation is part of that laziness and that recklessness and escapist behavior, as it were. Be direct and say who it is who is doing that kind of thing.
Now, some people are saying that Sam Gituku did not give Eddy adequate time to explain himself because Eddy wanted to build a foundation that in his own very considered opinion, he feels that when Gen Zs go to protest on the streets, the person who speaks for them is the opposition, saying that they have been killed, this is what they have done. And according to Eddy, that seems to be a proving fact that the opposition is speaking for them, and therefore he feels that either the opposition is the one that is sponsoring the Gen Z's protest or they want to take advantage for political mileage. Yet it is a fact that those Gen Zs come from particular regions. And so, for example, I know he's referring to Mount Kenya. Leaders from Mount Kenya, led by Rigathi Gachagua, has complained that Ruto is butchering or presiding over a police that is butchering their people. And so, according to Eddy, when Wamunyoro comes up and speaks when the people are killed, he feels that Wamunyoro is taking advantage. Instead of just going direct to the point, Eddy was fumbling and stammering and going around the bush. And do you know why? Because he understands so well that the bigger question and something that they cannot run away from is the fact that they joined this government at a time when Gen Zs had cornered William Samoei Ruto. William Ruto actually dissolved dissolved the cabinet. Meaning, he knew very well that he had been cornered. William Ruto called for a press conference and he gave us some austerity measures to ensure that he was going to contain the extravagant in government, because that was one of the very main issues that Gen Zs were talking about. The CSS that was supposed to be appointed, you remember these positions that were supposed to be given to people like Margaret Wanjiru, Evans Kidero, Dennis Itumbi. Gen Zs told William Ruto, stop it. And so Gen Zs had cornered William Ruto. They had told William Ruto exactly what to do. And at some moment we realized that William Ruto had succumbed and he was ready to toe the line. Then, before we knew it, Raila shook hands and he joined the broad-based government. And that is how things crumbled and William Ruto got back to the factory settings. And that is exactly why Eddy was fumbling, because he knows very well he would be questioned about that. Now, in this video, I want to give you 4 reasons why I believe that the ODM is guilty as charged when Gen Zs claim that they were betrayed. Number 1, when Gen Zs went to the street, there is this particular lady that really trended, and she was telling Baba, where we can stay back, we've seen your struggles, we want to pick it from where you left it. Then Baba promised them that this time I'm going to sit back, I'm behind you guys as you go for the protest against the Finance Bill 2024 and a government that does not listen to you, I'm with you. After that assurance, Raila came back and joined the government after Raila promised them that he would not join Ruto. Gen Zs had confidence in Raila. Why? Raila has been speaking for them. In fact, Raila has built his politics around youthful leaders and youth who always go for those protests and they overpower even the police. And after Gen Zs realized that even his people were killed during Azimio protest, they knew Raila was with them, only to wake up and realize that Raila had joined this government. I remember somewhere in Kware, Raila had promised them, Mimi siwezi ingia kwa hii government. So that makes the ODM guilty as charged. Number 2, even after getting into that government, the Gen Zs are being killed, being kidnapped, but Raila and this group are very quiet. That is why when you say that ODM betrayed Gen Zs and they took advantage of Gen Z's protest, we would say that it is very true. Had Raila gotten to that government and pushed William Ruto and forced him not to operate in a manner the way they are doing, where the police is killing Gen Zs, he instruct them even more that they should shoot. And then his allies come and say, don't even shoot the foot only, shoot and kill. So the fact that William Ruto perpetuated, or the government of William Ruto perpetuated this killing of youth, betrays the ODM. You cannot get into a government claiming that you have signed some 10-point agenda, and one of them, almost the key one, is that the government should stop killing the young ones, and they continue with killings. You are quiet and you want to claim that you are not in government, you want to claim that you are speaking for the Gen Zs, you want to refute that you are not betraying Gen Zs. They are guilty as charged. When Raila got there, he gave William Ruto those whom he called experts. And after getting into that government, they started warning anyone who would imagine to be a critic of William Ruto. People like Junet Mohammed, Joho, wanakwambia kama mbaya mbaya. So if they got into government to help Gen Zs, because I understand they said that their complaints were the same, why would their people stoop too low to start warning anybody who criticizes William Samoei Ruto. It only means there that they went there to ensure that the fire that Gen Zs had lit was extinguished. Who and to them, if they thought that this would finish the Gen Zs protest, because the more they tried to finish the demonstrations, the more it even accelerated. It was an impetus to them. So the ODM and Eddy knows very well that they betrayed Gen Zs. That is why Raila is being called Msaliti. Today, when you listen to Raila Odinga, he's being forced and coerced to talk about compensation. They got into this government somewhere late last year. To date, no one has been compensated. Leave alone that. Even the youths who were killed during Azumi protest, because that was to show the government of the day that Raila still has the muscles. They are the foot soldiers of Raila. Raila has never talked about their compensation. In fact, he's just being pushed. Recently was pushed to explain and was saying, just hold your horses, we are talking. I mean, if he really wanted Gen Zs to be compensated, number one, abductions and more killings would have stopped. They would have not taken this long up to this moment to talk about compensation. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with those very few points, I believe that Eddy does not just want to accept, like all the other ODM figures, that they are in government, this bread-based, blood-based, broad-based government, and that they betrayed Gen Zs. They waited for Gen Zs to corner William Ruto, then they came saying, now we have stabilized the government. Even to make it worse, is that they are now forcing Gen Zs to get into some conclave, I don't know, intergenerational conclave, to talk to William Ruto. Yet they have very many talks. They even have a pending report, the NADCO report, National Dialogue, that they have not implemented. They are still inviting Gen Zs to talk to William Ruto. To me, I think Eddy was cornered, and they know themselves that they were the ones that are taking advantage of Gen Z's protest. Even though it is also true that the opposition are also taking advantage. How and why? They oppose any kind of protest when youths led by Azimio leaders went to the street, they were killed. And back then, the opposition now supported those killings. It is on record. That is why when they come and they're now complaining that the government is killing their people, one would be tempted to ask, what has changed? Because you used to support this kind of killings. Sometimes I look at things in an angle and I say, and I conclude that the more things change, the more they remain the same. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you're watching for the first time. Please don't leave without liking the video and sharing it. And please support Mama Peter so that we can take Peter to school and we help Mama Peter in this very difficult moment. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's meet in another video.